Bluff City NIL is an official partner of Coaching for Literacy, a nonprofit organization using the power of sports to impact childhood literacy. You can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or follow them on social media at Coaching for Literacy. Your donations to Bluff City NIL are 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together. So we thank you guys for supporting Memphis Tiger student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause of childhood literacy.
Welcome to Tigers Untapped, a Bluff City Media podcast. Stepping up to the microphone are your hosts, TJ Willis and Trey Lasley. Pull up your chair, grab your favorite brew, and enjoy the conversation. Now, let's get to the show.
Boom, boom, boom. TJ. It's officially the off season. I guess last week was technically officially the off season, but
it's probably fair.
Here we are, a week after our sorrows. I feel better, but at the same time, I feel worse because FAU is in the Final Four.
They keep finding a way to win, and I don't understand it. And I'm not saying like they're a bad team. Like, this shouldn't shock me. They're well coached. They do the right things kind of situation, but
they don't get the tight B-hole. They've been down. They get down in the second half of every game, and they come back and they win. Same thing happened with us. We got up 7 with 6 or 7 minutes left. No stress on that side of the court at all. They're locked in. All right, before we get into it, look at what we got tonight. Another classic, I feel like. The good friends at Wiseacre.
Ananda.
The Ananda.
Has anyone ever confirmed it's Ananda and not Ananda?
We have not confirmed that. But if Wiseacre's listening, we know that they are. If you guys want to confirm the pronunciation of this, let us know.
I think the people really need to know. Honestly, I think it's Ananda, right?
That's what I've always heard it as Ananda. Good can though.
That is good.
Love the design. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's good. All right, Teach, do you feel any better?
Yeah, I think I do. I think it's
time heals all.
I
think we're getting there. I do feel I still am upset, but I feel a lot better. But I do think, given how things have turned out, I feel like we would be in the Final Four. I don't know how else to tell you guys that. It should be us.
I don't know if I subscribe to the thought process that had Memphis beat FAU, they would be in the Final Four.
Hit the subscribe button because I do. All in.
I don't know.
It'd be us.
You're gonna hate this, but I still think Tennessee's like a hell of a defensive team. Like, they would give us fits. I
don't disagree with that, but they also struggle to score the basketball.
Oh yeah, it was like 4 or 5 minutes straight without scoring.
I don't know that anybody on their team was going to guard Kendrick on any of these teams. I don't think anybody on. I don't care about Kansas State and freaking what's his face, Noel.
What's his face?
No.
Yeah, the kid
he had 10 turnovers in the FedEx
Arkansas
Forum a couple years ago.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Anyway,
I kind of knew that. Put me back in that headspace.
I know. I'm sorry. We'll move on. But the Final Four is coming up this weekend. It's a strange one, and for the first time in history, we didn't talk about this. No number ones make it to even the Elite Eight. Wouldn't you know? The last time we make the Final Four, TJ, how many number one seeds made the Final Four? Count them, all 4 of them.
Yeah.
And then this year, not a single number one seed even makes the Elite Eight.
So
2 didn't even make the Sweet 16.
Not necessarily one seed that I'm referencing here, but in terms of blue blood type of programs, no real blue bloods either. I think UConn's probably a tier 2 blue blood.
I mean, I think
Same with Gonzaga. It's a fringe
they're
thing. Like,
yeah. I mean, historically, I think they could be if they pull it out again this year. I think they're up there, especially since what 2000.
Yeah.
From a men's and women's standpoint, since like 2000, are they the best basketball program, men and women's combined? I don't know who would even give them a run.
That's probably fair.
I mean, at one point, obviously, our foe to the east, from a ladies' perspective, was up there, but when our gentlemen have never made a Final Four, it can't be you. I don't even know who else would be close. South Carolina has had a good women's program, right? But their men have been stanky. They had one Final Four a couple years ago. But anyway, interesting Final Four. What is it? FAU, San Diego State, Miami, and UConn.
Miami's kind of a wild card in there, but I guess when you pay that much money.
A 4 seed, 2 5s.
A 2. Why are you making me question things?
No, sorry. It's a 9 seed, 2 5s, and a 4. I don't know where I got
Miami's a 5.
Yeah.
San Diego State is a 5.
5. UConn's a 4. FAU is a 9.
Yeah, you're right.
What a Final Four. Hey, we kind of had a feeling that there was no great team in basketball. Although KenPom metrics, UConn is the number 1 team in the country right now, but they've also put a spanking on Gonzaga. Sure. So those metrics are still getting there. So that plays into it. But I think they were top 5 going into the tournament. But definitely not a year for success from the low seeds for sure.
Weird. Definitely a weird one. Weird March.
Who's your champion?
UConn.
So we sit here on Tuesday. Yeah, I think it's got to be, right? I think they're the best team left.
Yeah. I think they're the easiest ones to write in, right? I don't know that. I wish that UConn and Miami weren't playing each other. I think that would be an interesting game.
Would be a good title game.
I don't know. I'm down with the other because you're going to get a 5 and a 9 in the championship.
Yeah,
it's nice. Weird. If it's in FAU,
you feel good.
I'm gonna get so mad.
Gosh, if they could too. Like they really could. And if they do, I don't know. Is that good for the American?
If Dusty May's still there, yeah, sure.
I think so too. If he stays and they bring their team back, I think it's good. I mean, you got a team in your conference that made the national championship game.
Seems like something you'd want to brag about, but I don't know. I think San Diego State's really good.
I do too. And I'm not one.
I think they're like actually good.
Brag about or root for my conference either. So
no, I don't do that. I think it's dumb.
Who really cares? I hope they lose a heartbreaker like we lost.
Trey's taking it personally.
It probably won't happen. Oh, 100%. 100% personal. No, I'm with you. I think UConn wins it all. We'll be back here next week, and I think UConn is your men's 2023 national champion. All right, back to Tigers. We got confirmation our Lawson brothers are back. No better place for them to be than under the direction of Coach Penny Hardaway, according to their father. I like it. I mean, we talked about it the other week. Like you want to have guys in the system that have been in the system. They know what Penny expects. They know what he's trying to do. So it just helps to have them there with the new guys.
And honestly, just experienced bodies at this point in general. I mean, we're talking a freshman class and then year. Who?
Yeah. And I love the upside of Jonathan. We've talked about Jonathan. I think he can be a really good offensive weapon for the Tigers going forward.
I think that they were both bright spots on that basketball team throughout the year. Chandler more so later in the year, just kind of making some big plays. Jonathan obviously hitting the threes and kind of, getting a little more experience and things like that. He needs to physically mature a bit. He is still kind of string being. I don't know how to word that
Yeah.
really. He's kind of a string being still, but look, before the season, we were talking about why are they not you and I, but people were talking why are they bringing the Lawsons? They're problems, they're trouble. Based off everything that happened with KJ like 16 years ago, essentially. And
Let it
what do you know? They
go.
actually weren't trouble at all. They were actually great, and they helped their team win. So it's like shut up and
Oh,
move
yeah.
on. And I think it's been great to have them and show success.
100% agree. And like every time people were screaming about Jonathan's playing time, he's asked about it. I mean, some would say it's coach speak through him, but he seemed to
Sure.
believe like he's just ready when he's called on, right? He's not going to
Yeah.
complain about what his role is. He seemed to understand it and accept it and was like, hey, when he's ready to throw me out there, I do what he's asking me to do. That's all you can ask for, right?
Yeah. Definitely played the good soldier role.
Drama free. That's how we like it.
100%.
All right, so you got the Lawsons coming back. No word yet on Keontae or Malco. No, I haven't seen official word from Jaden, but I think we're about as close to 100% that he'll be back as you can be with Ashton coming in. And what we've talked about, you had 7 freshmen committed, but we've seen it in the last couple of days with David Tubia cutting ties.
Yep.
I think we knew it was coming, right? You can't.
Sure.
7 freshmen was too many. And I wouldn't be surprised to see another in the near term future. I think Penny's talked about it. We've talked about it. You got to go to the portal and get some more college ready that have been at the collegiate level for a couple of years, even if it's only been 1 year. That's better than bringing in 7 true freshmen.
Yeah, I think it's proven time and time again that these senior laden teams, these older, more experienced teams, are going to perform better in March, and that's when you need it the most. So I just couldn't imagine them bringing in 7 freshmen.
Except for this year.
Imagine them bringing in 6. It doesn't work, man.
Yeah, 5 or 4 feels like the right number to me. And then you hit the portal pretty hard, and you get a good mix of experienced guys that have been in the system with new guys that have a lot of upside, I would say.
Sure.
And then you go and you get some guys that may not have experience at Memphis, but have more than likely been playing a lot of college basketball.
Yeah.
So then we've had several. There's been a running list we talked about last week with like Khalif Battle, which by the way has gained a little bit of steam about him going to UCF, which would be interesting because I mean if I'm in the portal, do you want to go to a team that's about to be doo-doo water in the Big 12? No. But hey, maybe he does. I don't know.
He actually shot that down, by the way.
I saw that, but it's also like, I guess if, what do they say? If you get them off campus and they haven't committed, then I guess he's probably not. What's he waiting for, right? So I don't know. But there was a little bit of steam there. But you've had some big names hit recently that have had some Memphis talk around them. Caleb Love from North Carolina, which I don't know. He's played a lot of basketball, but I would be okay missing on Caleb. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah.
I think I would take him, but he's also, I would say, not my first choice. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Immensely.
I mean, I'm not going to complain about adding him.
Sure.
But it's not like I'm like, you got to go out there and get Caleb Love.
He is definitely talented. I don't think anyone questions that. He will be beneficial for your team in a sense. Like he will score points. That's not a thing. Will it be on 50 shots? Probably. Yeah, probably.
I think if you had told me Caleb Love last year, I'd be more excited about it. He averaged 16, 4, and 3.5 boards. Shot 86% from free throws, shot 36% from 3 on like 6.5 threes a game. Like, I feel like I'd have been more gung-ho about it last year, but this year he didn't have a great year, to be honest.
Look,
37% from the floor, 29% from three. His free throw percentage dropped by 10%. He's down to 76%. Turnovers still at 2.5. I mean, I don't know. I'd take him, but I'm not like dying for him.
if your objective was to build the most talented roster, sure, that's a take, right? I mean, I think we've seen Penny do that before, but I think we've also seen Penny go away from that. And it's really more about fit, I think, these days. And if you bring in Caleb Love, like you're definitely going to have one of the more talented point guards, but that's not a promise that he's going to be a great fit with the rest of your team. So it's just,
Yeah. How does Caleb fit with Mikey and JJ?
does he at all? I don't know.
Does he
And
fit? I don't know. Is that two puzzle pieces that got the same end? They can't connect. You know what I mean? You got two male parts on the puzzle piece. You got to have a female part on that puzzle piece. You got to fit together.
I would look for a point guard that's going to try to facilitate it a little bit more. And I'm not saying that like
a
Caleb's
Taron
out here.
Armstrong?
Yeah, I mean, I think Darren Armstrong would be a perfect example of that. But
I think we both know who our number one point guard choice is, which is not looking likely at this point.
Oh, I think I knew you were going with that. Timberlake?
St. Nick. Yeah, Nick Timberlake. He's getting some crystal balls for North Carolina, I guess, with Caleb's announcement. That makes sense. But I think at this point, I think you feel the same. I think Nick Timberlake would be our number one.
Yeah, I mean, a great 3-point shooter at point guard. Yeah, why not? Right?
Yeah. A couple of other big names, though. You got Khalil Ware from Oregon, former, where's he from? North Little Rock, I think, but a former 5-star. He's currently, at least by 247 standards, the number one guy in the portal. I mean, we've talked about needing to get a center out of the portal. That's a 7-foot kid, rim protector. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. If you're going that route, another name that's hit that we were kind of hoping for last year from the Western Cats of Kentucky, Jamarian Sharp.
Sure.
I mean, is that your rim protector? Do you go back after him?
I
think you mentioned this in the Discord. You've got TJ, I think, and if you're not in the Discord, sign up, promo TJ and Trey. A lot of good content. Some of it X-rated because TJ's voice text will mess up time and again. But it's all good fun. I think you posted in there. You got a little bit of concern about Sharp and his ability to play at the pace that Penny wants to play. Did I see that correctly from you?
I mean, he's a 7'5" center. Like, do you think he's going to be able to run it up and down the court?
Hey, 2 years ago in the form, he moved down the court fine.
He does move quite fine for a man who's 7'5". But I just think if you have DeAndre,
I tell you what, he'd have beat the out of that FAU layup the other night.
Vlad, whatever. Oh, you're saying
just the game-winning layup. He'd have sent that thing past half court.
If you have someone like DeAndre on the roster,
doesn't he lead the nation in blocks? Like 4.5 blocks a game. I know. Put him out there.
I don't know. I don't think he would be a great fit on him by himself. I think he would need an extra.
Oh yeah, I mean you gotta. I agree, 100%. You'd have to put somebody with him, and that's not something. I don't think you're asking him to be out there for 35 minutes a night either.
Yeah,
but just another name if you're looking for that big, true rim protecting, athletic guy.
I don't feel great about that one. I think that ship sailed personally, but
yeah, there's been a little. We didn't mention it, but we were seeing today. There's a little bit of word about Caleb and Sharp going to Missouri together.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see where that ends up.
Good luck with that.
All right, TJ, anybody else from the portal we need to be aware of or that's entered recently that we're hearing about?
What
about Johan?
Johan Traore would be interesting. I mean,
Would you
I
take
don't.
him? I texted my Auburn buddies today to figure out what that deal was because he just didn't play a ton. And they just
Sure.
straight up said he didn't develop really well, and that resulted in him not really getting any PT. I think he played like 8 or 9 minutes against Iowa in their first game, and my dude had a trillion stat line. You know what that is? Your only stat's a foul, so you got a 1 and then a bunch of zeros. Literally didn't record any other stat in 9 minutes. He just had 1 foul.
I think I'd take him. Honestly, I think I do because he is.
I mean, I probably would too, to be honest with you.
He's a bouncy big man. He rebounds. He can run the floor. That's kind of the big man that Penny has always wanted. If you go back, that's James was that way. Precious was that way. I'll dare to say Musa was technically that way. And Musa moved very well for a big man. He just wasn't an offensive threat by any means. DeAndre moves that way. He fits exactly.
I don't think you're. Yeah, and it sounds like he's going to be a bit of a work in progress, right? You're not bringing him in to be the immediate day one fix at center. That's more of a like,
correct.
Hey, maybe you get a senior guy and then you bring you on and as a, hey, develop this year, play 10, 15 minutes, maybe. You know, if you got a Sharp that's playing 25, you throw you on in there for the other 10, 15. And then next year, he's your guy.
Hell, bring in Khalil Ware. You go ahead and land that. Solve all your problems. That's a guy I think
you can play right. You taking all 3 of them? Oh
no, I would just
bring him in.
Khalil. Yeah,
get rid of Sharp.
Big man that could shoot it. I don't think Sharp's a thing, man. I think he's burned that bridge. The moment that Slick Rick took him, and he kind of chunked up the deuces to Penny. I think he burned that bridge. I don't see that one coming back personally.
Yeah, I don't think Penny's going back. It's like gonna get the seconds on him. I think you're probably right. I didn't see a lot of what Ware did this year. Not bad. 6.64 boards, 15 minutes a game. I think that's fine.
Yeah. Look at that as like does college do per 36 or per 40?
I think it's a per 40, but
it's per 40.
Look at even if you're just looking at a per 30, that's 13 and 8, which would be great.
That'd be perfect. I mean, what are you really asking from him, right? I mean, he's going to be splitting minutes with Chandler, likely Malcolm. I feel pretty good that Malcolm will be back. Just typically how that works out. But, I mean, per 40, he's at 17 and 10. Yeah, I think I would take that.
I would take it too. Obviously, he's probably not going to be throwing 40 minutes a night out there. But
Sure.
I mean, that's productive. 71% from the free throw line. You got a 7-footer that can knock down the free throw. Sign me up. Sign me up. He did take 55 threes this year. Wow.
Yeah, he can shoot it from 3.
Didn't shoot much worse than Caleb Love. 27%.
I do like Ware is going to be the hottest possible commodity, right? Like people say that, hey, he's from Little Rock, that's relatively close to Memphis. He'd be a perfect fit.
Or it could be a must bus, and he could be going to the hometown Hogs.
You read my mind. I was like, the problem is there's another basketball team that plays closer, and they're pretty damn good. So
yeah,
Arkansas worries me with a couple.
I'm not a geography major, but is Little Rock closer to Fayetteville than to Memphis?
Yeah, man. It's in the same state. Let's just put that. Fayetteville is in the top,
but
you know where Fayetteville is. I mean, what do you mean?
Okay, it's 2 hours and 56 minutes from Little Rock to Fayetteville, and I think it's right at 2
like
hours
6 hours. Oh,
I'm saying from his home state.
Yeah.
I mean, his home city. Yeah, 2 hours. You got that. You're cutting a whole hour off. Much easier drive for the folks to come over.
I thought you were saying to Fayetteville. I was like, yeah.
Oh, no. So the Ware family, if you guys are listening, we know that you probably are. Get to Memphis. You cut in a whole hour off your road trips to watch your boy play. I'd do it. And look at this. Look at that. Look at the form striped up. that where you want to be watching basketball? Collegiate, especially with the renovations coming. That place is going to be so nice.
Couple million invested into it.
Much nicer than, what is it? What are they playing? Bud Walton?
I think that's right.
Fun fact, my uncle, Big Bill, was like 6'9", I think, got an offer to play for Arkansas to play basketball. This is a long time ago. I don't even know the year of this. And I don't even know the accuracy of this story. My parents have told me this. But went up to visit, and I guess at the time Arkansas literally played in like an old barn. My uncle said no and just peaced out and didn't play collegiate basketball. I could have been an Arkansas Razorback fan if that had happened.
That'd be real weird.
Wouldn't it? I tried to go to Arkansas for a minute. Just didn't feel right. Anyway. All right. Anything else on the basketball front?
Yeah, I mean, look, the portal stuff happens very quickly. Now, I think what's
So
going to
quick.
happen is,
I mean, we could get off this right now, TJ, in the next 20 minutes, and then we could have a commitment.
sure,
Or there could be a new
Absolutely.
kid
I mean-
that could take over where is the top transfer target in the portal right now.
yeah, I would be
We have
shocked.
eyes on Twitter, or you have Twitter pulled up, and we may be missing breaking news.
It's very possible. I think within a week we land somebody. I'll take a swing on that. I feel like that's a safe one.
Rumors swirling. We had visits this week.
Yeah. Zoom meetings with kids. Give me that big
Zoom.
dude from Coastal, by the way.
Zoom meetings. Look at what COVID's done. Were
The
there
hell of a
Zoom
market.
recruit
We really
meetings
missed it.
before COVID? No, right? You just called the kid. Now you Zoom with them. Similar to what you and I are doing, Zooming.
Zooming, brother.
Zooming's easy. I'm a FaceTime guy myself, but TJ's not a big Apple product person, so
Surely not.
we got to Zoom. All right.
Basketball, anything else?
No. So you know what it means, Tej. Let me fix it. Because, I mean, we got portal news and stuff that will be coming up in the next few weeks, and we got the Final Four. The dog. Pack the bowl, because football season is
This
here.
football season.
Spring football has kicked off. We were at practice the other day. It's great to be out there. Got absolutely roasted.
Yeah, dude.
Forgot the SBF. I wish you guys could see my thigh right now and how red it is. It is unbelievable and very painful. But Tej, out there, we were out there at the sim the other day watching some Tigs football practice. It felt good.
But great. I mean,
Felt real good to be out there watching that. I would say they looked good the other day.
yeah, it's a practice. I mean, what do you expect? They're not really trying to show us everything they've got. But I mean, I didn't see anything. I was like, oh, we need to work on that. Like, I think within your first week.
Let's talk about the good stuff we saw. Seth looks good. Definitely, he's talked about, we saw some scrimmaging, some different scenarios, and I'll say it felt like he had his patience. He's talked about his feet, his footwork, his feet. I would say it's just patience in general, just waiting for your routes to develop, making your reads, as opposed to just seeing that something's not immediately there and taking off. I felt like he did a much better job of working in the pocket and waiting for something to open up and making a throw.
Yeah, I think he's trusting his line a little bit more. I think that kind of helps out a bit.
Absolutely. And again, it's a little bit different when it's spring ball against your own fellas and you're not really going to get hit, right? So
Sure,
you may be a lot more likely to kind of hang out in that pocket for a little bit. But Yeah, I will say the line. I don't know that we want to go into specifics, but it didn't look a whole lot different personnel wise from last year. But I feel like they looked better, at least in some of the run plays we saw, right? And it's tough to tell because you're playing your own guys. So it's like, should we be concerned about the defense or is the offensive line actually better?
That's what
But
I
they were
said. There was
definitely
a
opening up on some of those run plays better holes, right? Like, I mean, we saw Hargrave had a huge 75-yard touchdown run, like down the sideline, hit the hole, got out of there. But I would say I feel better about the line at this point right now, which
sure.
I don't know
I
that you
think
could have
that
really felt
fair
any
assessment.
worse, to be honest, after last season. So maybe that's just
You know,
that's because it's the only direction we had to go.
it's also so early in spring that it's like there's not a guarantee what we saw was even going to be the starting
Oh,
line
yeah.
at all, right? They could totally move someone around. I mean, we
I
looked
mean,
last year.
some
We
of these
saw
portal
Gamble
guys,
go from
it's
left tackle to left guard.
yeah, and some of the portal guys, it's what their third practice, so it's
Yeah,
like fourth lot there's a lot of ramp up time between now and week 1
definitely.
against Bethune-Cookman. So a lot of things could change, but I will say I felt better leaving practice the other day after seeing what we saw in some of those scenarios and some of the runs that were, even if, it wasn't like we were cranking out 75-yard runs every play, but it was a 5, 6, 7-yard chunk play here or there just off of a basic draw or something, which is something we didn't see last year. Like most of those plays were stuffed at the line of scrimmage or even in the backfield, or maybe you're getting a yard, right? You weren't really getting a chunk play out of a
Yeah.
basic draw play.
And that I think the one thing that was exciting is that, like you said, we saw the big play from Hargrave. You saw a big run from Blake Watson, and that Blake Watson can scoot.
Dude
That dude's
can, yes.
he was kind of fast.
Well, we love to talk about running back speed and 40 times on this podcast, and my guy Watson, he can run well.
Yeah.
I don't know what would you guess his 40 time is?
If we are going off the scale where
It's got to be out there on the interweb. Let's see how
Ducker
close TJ gets
is
to this.
if we're assuming Ducker is a
Look,
4.7,
let's stay away.
will say
Let's stay. Okay, if you're listening, we're sorry. TJ, stay away from Ducker's 40 time. We don't need to talk about it anymore.
that's my starting
Don't
running
come.
back. So like
I get it,
I ain't going anywhere from there.
but I'm just gonna say you even said something the other day at practice about my boy Duck being slow. So
I don't know, dude. I
think you just need to throw slow for a running back on there, maybe
4.5. 4.5.
4.5. Didn't you say Duck was like a 4.6 or something?
No, I said a 4.7, maybe a 4.8.
Gosh, that's okay.
That's fast for track speed. That's like a
Okay.
big difference. 2.10s? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I get it. So NFL Draft Scout has his 40 low at 4.46. His official time is 4.56. So you pretty much hit it right on the head. Didn't you say 4.5?
It's a 4.5, yeah. So Kenny and a
Stubblefield?
4.4.
Stubbs
5.4.
did not. Our guy Kenneth Stubblefield did not run a 5.4. I mean a 4.4. 4.4.
Do we need to have a Bluff City Media 40-yard dash competition?
100%. Because we're going to touch on this in a minute. The combine, we 100% Kenny, Christian, Gabe, all of you that are listening, John, everybody, all the Grizzly Bear, all of us. We need to have a Bluff City combine. You can pick your sport or enter both. I may enter both basketball and football, but we need to do that for sure. 40 times, vertical jumps, shuttle drill. Kidding me? Maybe even throw in a punt, pass, kick. I mean, yeah, right?
So Henderson ran a 4.49 and Gainwell ran a 4.4.
Gosh.
That puts in perspective where I think Blake Watson is.
Henderson felt so much faster than that.
Did feel much faster than that. But that's about on par with Blake Watson. He is
I
fast.
get you. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, dude can scoot for sure. I'm excited about that. And something we talked about last week, I feel like, and it's not at every single position across the board, but several times last year, obviously in the skill position area, and I would say the defensive side of the ball. And I'm not trying to be a jerk, but we looked slow as heck at times. Like very pedestrian. So I think they've not only hopefully increased talent wise, but some of that speed. We're going to see a little bit of speed back on the field, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think the defensive side, one thing they have really done is work to add speed out there, especially at the linebackers, secondary. Definitely, speed was kind of an issue at a couple of points last year. So
just flat-footed, yeah. Get out of it. Okay. While we're talking about speed, TJ, did we see the next Calvin Austin III on the football field the other day at practice?
All right.
Be truthful. He was wearing 84 too.
They were flashes.
For those of you that don't know, Calvin Austin initially was number 84. There was a number 84 playing wide receiver, Darius James from Jacksonville, Florida, sophomore, 5'7", 156. I'm not going to lie to you. He looked like he was 5'4" on the football field. But the kid was freaking flash. I mean, so fast. I mean, if Blake Watson runs a 4.5, this dude may be at a 4.3 without pads.
He definitely looked like he was moving quite quickly. I don't know if it was a relative thing or not, but there were Calvin flashes. I'll give you that.
It was reminiscent of Kendrick on the basketball court. Nobody was staying in front of this dude.
Do you remember last spring practice? There was the Eric Rivers breakout, and everyone was like, "Oh, Eric Rivers is the guy. Like, that's who we need to get the ball." Yeah, spring game.
To see,
it's Darius this year.
I need to 100%. See more of Darius James, and I hope to see more of him.
You say
the kid has true track speed.
You want to see Darius? I want to see Destin Thomas. I thought he looked really good. More reps.
He did look good. While we're on the wide receivers, how did you feel coming out of that practice the other day? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I still think that's like the biggest question mark probably on both sides of the ball is the wide receiver room. At this point in time, I still do not feel great about the receivers.
I will say it's still early because the Coach Smith hasn't been here for very long, hasn't really got to put his stamp on these guys. I think Rock and Skates are likely to start. Those are two guys that have great timing with Seth. Seth stated that he's been working with the receivers all throughout, fall, or not the fall, through like the winter, through spring.
Yeah. Off season.
I think it's just they really need to get more reps in there together, and then finding out who that third and fourth guy are going to be.
Right? It's got to be. I mean, it's reps. Got to be reps. I will say this: we've said it multiple times the last 2 years. I freaking love Rock to death, and I want him to be one of the best receivers we've had. The dude has got to catch the football.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't figure it out. There were multiple times the other day where it was just like drops on easy, like screen passes, just dropping the football. Like, you got to catch the ball, man.
Some of those look like effort, though, and I hate saying that because it looked like he was like, "All right, I'm going to get absolutely destroyed if I catch this."
Yeah, but still. And I mean, I guess if you're thinking about it that way, like, better to maybe just drop it in that scenario than to catch it and get smashed, potentially fumble, or just have the clock keep running, right? Like, so I get it. I will say, yes, but
he got pulled aside after one of the drops, and they
got a little talking to.
Yeah, they're working with his hands, talking to him, kind of pitching it back and forth, just keeping them fresh. So
While we're talking about catching, and somebody that we were very high on and saw flashes of, but also joking or not, we said that he needed rec specs and had a great catch that we felt like he would have dropped last year with Skates.
yeah,
That over the top down the center of the field, full extension. It was beautiful.
yeah. I mean,
Guys, if you guys are listening, I got high hopes for Joseph Skates this year. I think he's got his contacts figured out, and we're ready to rock and roll. Although on that play, he did run into the goalpost.
he was tackled into the goalpost. He was
whatever. You imagine how often that happened when the goalpost was on the goal line. Like, why was that ever a thing? Why was that ever a thing?
Shorter field goals made sense mathematically.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but it just seems so dangerous. You ever run into the field goal?
Have I ever run into the field goal?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I just didn't know. I mean, I know they're padded. I just wonder how bad that hurts. I mean, he made it. It didn't look like it felt good. Yeah. It did not look like it felt good, but
still a relatively immovable object made of metal. I mean, I couldn't imagine if it was good.
Anything else? We've talked a lot about the offense. I feel like running backs, quarterback. Hey, Tevin, Gridiron Penny looked good. He's still slinging that thing. I'm not talking bombs, but he was throwing freaking frozen ropes.
Yes. Absolute missiles.
I mean, I hadn't seen the ball just stay at that level. Just a tight. He's got such a beautiful tight spiral. It's amazing. I could watch that football fly through the air all day.
I'm gonna be honest.
It's mesmerizing. How do you throw a football that? I do too. I think
I know he's a
good
freshman.
Group of quarterbacks.
Yeah, Harris Boyd looked really good for a freshman.
Well, hey,
I mean, he made a cup.
All of them.
Yeah,
TJ, be truthful.
All the quarterbacks we saw reputation.
One scholarship. Okay.
Yes, all the ones we saw reps from.
We won't go there.
We won't go there. We will not go there.
We'll just say that TJ likes the 3 that are on scholarship.
That last one I got questions on. He's here for an education. He's here for a wonderful education. No, seriously, all the quarterbacks are really good. They all had great throws, all made maybe some timing issue type of throws, but all of them look great.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't have to use any of them other than one. Yeah. Or maybe Tevin. We want to see Tevin because we're up by 50. That'd be great too.
I mean, I wouldn't hate seeing Tevin. I don't think you're going to get any like specialty packages for Tevin like we should have had last year for Ryan Glover and QB Reed. I still to this that should have been a thing other than when Seth was taking a hit. Like throw it in. 2-point conversion at ECU. That. We don't agree on it.
No, I don't. Like, yes, I get I get the idea. I just don't like taking the ball out of Tevin's hand or out of Seth's hand.
You've agreed with me off air, and now you're not because
know.
We're recording. Folks, this is ridiculous. All last year, he agreed with me that Ryan Glover should have gotten some opportunities to run QB reads. And now you're disagreeing with me.
Philosophically, I don't like taking the ball out of your best player's hand. Like, yes, I get the logic behind Ryan Glover read options. I get it. But I want Seth in. He's freaking twinkle toes. What are we talking about?
I get it. Hey, they didn't take the ball out of his hands at the end of the SMU game.
You got balls.
You mean like TCU did with Duggan at the end of their?
Yeah, I like it.
Why'd they take the ball out of his hands? I get it. Anyway, I don't think you're going to see any like specialty packages for Tevin. I would love to see it. I want to see him on the field, but it needs to be, to your point, because we're up by 40.
Yeah. I want to know what player has the absolute what non-quarterback has an absolute cannon like Gabe?
Well, okay, I was going to say, well, we know last year was without a doubt, Gabe.
Yeah, dude
You
dropped
think we
a
see that? You think we
50-yard
see that play
dime.
again?
I don't know if you have the guy who can do it. Like, if they do, I don't know who it is, but
You think
I'd love to
Toski
know.
can sling the thing?
I have no reason to believe he can, but I had no reason to think freaking Gabe was dropping things on a dime 50 yards downfield. So who knows?
That's true. Gosh, that play was legit.
It was so dumb. I don't understand how that happens.
I'll be excited to see
Jamari
that.
could probably rip it downfield. I don't know, dude. I'm just taking a guess. I have literally no clue who can throw the ball. Why would I know that?
I don't know. What about tight end? What'd you see the other day?
They used a lot of them. Granted, they were rotating them all, but
They did. They use a lot of everybody at every position. That's kind of what you're going to see in the spring, right? You're just trying to get guys reps, get them in there. But
correct.
There are certain spots that are pretty set at this point.
I think the easiest one to pencil in is probably Landfear, just because he was your number 2 last year. He's big body guy. He can help you establish the run. I think the second would be Arrington McCray. We've been pretty high on Arrington. I mean, he is Sean Dyke's light, right? I mean, he's a smaller tight end, a bigger wide receiver. How you going to look at it?
Yeah.
More of a route runner, pass catcher. He can do that. You question how well he can block. But my dark horse is still going to be Brendan Doyle.
He looked good the other day.
I think Brendan can be
he's like
goal
your
line option.
True tight end that can catch, but he's also bigger and big enough to make blocks in the run game.
Yeah,
he's 6'4", 255. He looks big out there, but we saw it. He made some catches in some goal line or red zone area. Like,
I trust his hands in terms of size and
absolutely.
hands. He is the perfect middleman for me.
I would too. And he's wearing that Joey number with Joey on staff. Shout out to Joey. Dude was out there coaching his tail off. Love to see it. I love when former Tigers come back and they're on staff.
Yeah, man.
We have talked about running backs, but I just want to throw this out there. TJ, it feels like we got like 5 again, and I don't like it.
We do. I mean,
I really don't like it. Give me 1 or 2 solid. That's what I want. Like a clear 1 with a 2 that's just behind and get some carries, but isn't getting the bulk of the load. But it legitimately feels like we could see a mix of up to 5 out there getting carries.
I don't think it'll be that many.
I don't know
think
how
it's
I feel.
3.
Will it not? You got Watson, you got Ducker, you got Sutton Smith, you got Hargrove, you got BT back.
I question Brandon. I mean, dude's just coming back from shoulder surgery. He's not going to be in pads for a while. Like,
I get it, but he's been your.
I don't know when
before.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And he took a nice goal line specialty package type of guy role last year, right? I mean, he was kind of your workhorse, but I think it has clearly turned into Ducker is going to be the starting running back. And I think Hargrove will be your goal line guy, and then you'll have Watson and Sutton being your big play guys. Anytime they run those,
kind of throw them in there, yeah.
Well, like any of those like split in type of plays,
yeah.
They're your home run hitters.
You really don't see anything for Hargrove.
It's not that I don't see anything. I
know it was a limited. We've seen limited of him, but he's looked good.
I mean, the running backs get beat up so much, like it's almost we see it as a problem, but it's almost like a hot commodity that we have so many running backs that if
I
Ducker goes
know. I
down or
mean,
Sutton goes down, you have other guys that can step up and fill in right away.
I know.
And
That
I
is
think
the
that's why
other
they share that load.
that's the other part of what I haven't really said is like, yeah, I don't want it to be like 5 guys, but at the same time, it feels like they're all capable.
Yeah.
Any one of them could be the guy, which is like
Sure.
not a bad thing. But at the same time, I don't know.
Definitely
You
not a
kind of
bad
just
thing.
want to have a guy identified, I guess.
Completely fair.
Defensively, I'll say this. D-line looks much larger. And you weren't lying about our boy Trench Baby. The dude is a freaking beast. Go Tigers Go roster needs to be updated because he is not 255 or whatever they have him listed as.
Yeah.
My dude is straight beef.
They say it's like 6'4", 255, and there ain't a
Wrong.
chance.
Wrong. I think
He's only
I was talking to
250.
Kenny before this, and I think said 247 has him at 6'4", 300, and I'm like, yeah, that's much more accurate. Yeah, they got him 6'4", 300. That is definitely what it is.
Check Josh White. Is he 6'4", 300 too?
I think he is. You talking about on the actual university roster or on 247?
On the actual university roster.
They have Josh listed as what number is he?
I got it pulled up. He is 6'4", 300. Seems a little big for me, but I'm going to be honest. I think they're just starting to put 6'4", 300 for everybody on the D-line because Josh White.
For Derrick Henry.
Except for Derrick Henry, who is actually probably 6'4", 300.
Yeah. He feels bigger
Ellison,
than Josh.
Yeah, Josh Ellison, the Oklahoma transfer. I guess the A&M to Oklahoma transfer, I think is what it was, something like that. Mm-hmm. He does not look 6'4", 300, and they have him that. So I think he's probably more like 6'2", 270, maybe. Whatever.
Yeah,
What are we talking about? Measurements?
I don't know. There might be some defects on the Go Tigers website. They're pulling data from the wrong database or something. I'll also say this stuck out, and it absolutely, I loved every bit of it. But Simeon Blair back there, I know you'd mentioned at previous practices he'd been kind of working with the linebacker, so we're like, we don't know. He could play linebacker. We're not really sure. Could be that, what do they call it, tiger or star position, whatever. They had him at safety the other day. And I kid you not, I mean, he was a coach on the field for every play. So vocal. I mean, I loved it. Like, honestly, the other day I went away thinking like just adding him and nothing else would make the defense. I feel, and not to say like second half of the year, I feel like the defense is great. Not great, but they were better.
Sure.
And I think adding Blair in that position and him being as vocal as he is of before, during every play can make your defense. So like playing sports, when you have somebody on the field, court, whatever it is that's vocal like that, even if you or I know exactly what we're supposed to be doing, it's a tremendous help to have somebody constantly communicating to you, like whatever it is, like just reminding you to go left or watch this dude in motion, go with them, go like somebody telling you everything is so like you don't even have to think about it because you hear them, you're reacting to what they're telling you to do. Like he was so vocal back there. It was awesome. Honestly, like I think it could make a tremendous difference on that side of the football, having somebody out there that's like that. Communication is so huge, especially pre-play. Like I was very impressed by that.
Yeah, we're talking about a guy who started pretty much every game at Arkansas for the last 75 years.
And was a team captain too, right? And that alone explains why. Like he looked and sounded like a team captain yesterday or the other day.
Yeah, I think he is a perfect guy to step in and kind of replace Q in that backfield.
Yeah,
the secondary to kind of take over as that vocal leader and to kind of be the guy that can kind of help them get there. I mean, there was number of plays where you from the stands, you can hear him yelling, roll, 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 cloud, 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 like
Yes,
making the coverages
everything
and
to
telling guys to move, move,
everyone,
move.
every DB, linebackers, everyone, shift, like everything. And like you mentioned him being a great guy to fill in for Q. We're like Quindell is very talented.
Sure.
Playing safety. And I'm not saying we haven't seen a ton of it, and I haven't watched a ton of Blair on film. He may not be as talented. He may not be as good of a safety as Quindell was, but he sure as hell makes up for it in his leadership and on field, like being just vocal out there, I think. Like he's making everyone around him better by doing that. It had me so fired up. It was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, look, I have been burned on this like what feels like 4 times now, but I think the secondary has
I thought you were going to say
decently high hopes
as a safety. And I was like, when did you play safety?
Well, probably have been burned playing safety, but no one ever would put me back there. I think you're likely going to get Feaster and you're likely going to get Feaster and Ross. I think would be my 2 I would put back there.
As DBs?
Yeah, and then Joel and Simeon Blair would be my 4 defensive backs.
I think Cam probably gets rotated in, right? Smith.
Yeah, I think Cam, Ruben, both rotational guys. I think it just depends who you're playing. If you're playing more of a pass-happy team, you definitely need Ruben out there to kind of play that nickel.
I will say somebody we haven't seen a lot. I mean, he got hurt midway through last year, but Barnett was getting some good run back there too.
Yeah, he's looked healthy every time I've seen him, which is this is a good sign because it's a big body guy. I think that you could definitely benefit from having more health back there, health and size. Will he start? I don't know. He could end up being a specialty return guy, right? I have no clue, but it's definitely helpful to have him healthy and back.
Yeah. You mentioning return, I didn't feel great about what we saw from punt return. Not punt return as a unit, but
yes, I know what you mean.
We need somebody back there to receive the punts.
I think we know the
something
answer.
to keep
There's
an
only
eye
one
on.
real answer here.
If you can just throw a boy Kobe back there, and
you're telling me someone needs to catch the ball.
Yeah, well, we ain't got a score on the punt. Just field it.
Just throw done. Kobe done.
Trust.
It's easy.
All trust in the world in Kobe. We are Drake heads on this podcast.
It's so easy.
Special teams. The only other thing, and we didn't see any of it. We saw no kicking. So something.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting only because they do still technically have Noah Grant on roster. Like they have a kicker in theory. I think they know what they have in Noah, and they're waiting on Rainer, the kicker from Georgia Southern, to get there. I think he technically is a late.
He's not here yet, so it makes sense, but still something to note.
Starting with the new special teams coordinator, you're adding a kicker late. I mean, that's never. I understand. Like, what's a kicker's job? Just to kick the field goal, right? Kick the field goal. It doesn't seem like it's too hard to learn. But with kickoffs, you got to know your positioning on kickoffs and things like that. So, I get it. It'd been nice to see it at least.
All right, Tej. Anything else? Anything else that stuck out to you the other day? We saw a lot of it. We saw a lot of practice. We were out there for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, we did see a lot. I mean, I don't know. It's so early to even take any type of guess. I could probably make a depth chart projection today, change it again next week, and then change it again after the spring game, right? It just seems early. We'll probably do that in a later episode. But I have a lot of hope for the defensive line. If I could pick anything, I would say defensive line looks like it should be pretty damn good.
I have a lot of hope for just that side of the ball in general, the defense in general. Second year under Barnes, I think we've talked about it, you've added some good leadership. You've added size to the defensive line. I think you've got a secondary that should be better. Just another year under their belt. You brought a lot of those guys back. Like, I got a lot of hope for that side of the football.
Yeah, we even talk about Joel. You get more Joel. I think we only got Joel for
right. I mean,
four
sparingly
games last year.
Right. And it was when Q or somebody got hurt, he would step in for a play or two. Right.
Yeah.
So like, yeah,
Yeah.
even there. I don't know. Very excited. We got a couple weeks left. We'll have Friday Night Stripes, our full recap coming up. I think that's in 3 weeks from this Friday. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to everything that's going to, I mean, there's going to be some turnover. We know that after spring ball, there's going to be some guys that hit the portal. So it'll be good, not good, but it'll be interesting to see how that changes the roster. If we do lose guys, we may be making additions ourselves from guys that have hit the portal from other places. So something to keep an eye on. But all that to say, I'm excited for football season.
Definitely. Yeah, it's undefeated. You're going to lose somebody who is
we're going undefeated.
You expect to no. What?
Oh, I don't. You just said undefeated. You got me excited.
I said it is undefeated. That you will always lose someone you expect to be a big contributor, right? Kind of going into the offseason.
Let's just say contributor. Big. You're gonna freak some folks out.
That's fair. Okay. Yes.
Somebody you were expecting to contribute could hit the portal. That's a better way to say
it. Happens all the time. Happens every year.
Big. Never got me. You freaked me out with that. I don't even know what you're saying. Somebody's hitting the portal. We got it. All right. Let's talk about this Ananda.
It's good, dude.
I love it.
Yeah. It is a little malty. I ain't gonna lie. But
it's not a little. It is. They got a lot of that India Pale in the ale on this bad boy. I mean, I like it. I can't really sit here and drink these all night, though, to be honest.
No. Goodness, no. It's good.
It is good. But one will do well. I mean, I would buy a 6-pack of these, but it would be like
spread out.
Yeah. I would drink one in a night for like a couple of weeks, maybe. It's not like it's like a go-to beer for me, for sure.
Not a go-to beer. I'm not going to turn it down. Like if I'm at a wedding and they have Ananda as an option, like I'll grab one.
Yeah.
It's not going to be my first option.
You're only grabbing one.
I'm likely only grabbing one. That is quite true.
Can first. I like the can. I like the color scheme. I like the pattern. It's kind of like change of direction and stuff in the line.
With you on that.
That's not working. There we go. Which is good. I like how they've just the font. I like it. I mean, it's not the best can we've ever seen, but I'll go. No, it's definitely not. It's a steady like 6-7.
Okay.
Not great, not terrible, just kind of right there it's a good can.
I do like the pattern, but that's really about all I like. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really understand what the hell's going on with the pattern, but I do understand that the pattern exists and it is visually pleasing as you turn the can. Like, I don't even know if you can see this.
It is visually pleasing. It almost looks like one of those we've talked about highlights. Yes, but that's not what I was gonna say. You know those pictures, those old school things where you had to like kind of either start out real close and back away or cross your eyes and it like turned into another, it was like a 3D image kind of thing. It almost feels like that. You know what I mean? Is that should we be doing that? Is there like an image within the image? No, that didn't work.
If there is, that's a mod.
It didn't work. It doesn't work.
You cross your eyes?
Yeah, it didn't work. What's your can score?
I'm going to go 6-2 because other than that pattern, I just don't really love it. I think it's kind of boring, which is okay. I think
I can see
it's not bad to play it safe with the can sometimes, and I think they
Yeah.
played it safe here. 6-2.
Okay.
You said 6-7.
Yeah. I mean, the beer feels right in line with that.
Yeah.
I'll go 6-3 on the beer.
You went lower than me. I actually took that as a 6-5, only because I can have a couple of them, but I don't know if I want to have a couple of them. Does that make sense?
It does. That you saying that made a whole lot of sense. It's like
if you've had an Honda,
you said what I wanted to say.
If you've had it, like you know what you're gonna get. Like you're not gonna be blown away by any means, but you're also not gonna
Right.
you're not gonna pour it out, right? You're not gonna take a sip and then like and pour it out.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good.
I feel
It's a safe bet, and it's like the can. It's a safe bet, but not safe enough where you want to crush them all night long. You know,
true that.
I'm not taking it to a tailgate.
Not even one. You wouldn't throw even just one in there.
Maybe one.
I don't know that I would take it to the tail. I don't know that I would take it to the tailgate, but this could be one that like come midway through the third quarter of the Bethune-Cookman game when we're up 45. Like I might go to the concession and get an Ananda just to like kind of end the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I could do that.
I mean, I think if you're at Wiseacre, like Bo Echo, Tiny Bomb, regular. I mean, there's so many other options I think I could go with. But Sands. Wait, is that them?
Yeah. Beach Within Reach. I love Beach Within Reach.
You're gonna lose me on that one. That one's weird. There's so many variations of that one these days, though.
I know.
Second banana. I'm surprised you didn't freaking say second banana.
Oh, I forgot about it. It's because it's freaking.
It's not second banana season.
I think it's seasonal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not second banana season.
I can't wait for that to come back.
It was better than I thought.
It's so good. All right. Any last tidbit? You know what we forgot, TJ? Freaking Pro Day was yesterday or today.
Oh yeah.
So Cullens, Dale, Doyle, Ducksworth, Glover, Hassel, Howard, Quindell, Tyler Murray, Myers, Oliver, Owens, and Rogers all participated in Pro Day. I'll ask you this real quick. Other than Quindell, who has the next best opportunity of getting drafted, if anyone?
Gosh, drafted. Man, that's so tough. I will
if anyone. You could say no one.
Yeah, I'm not sure anyone else gets drafted. I do think a lot of them will be added to a camp. Joe Doyle makes a lot of sense as someone who
I was going to say
Doyle
is somebody that makes a roster.
Yeah, he makes a lot of sense for that one.
I feel like I want to say Zay could get a shot, but I think you're right with Doyle.
My question with Zay is we've seen better linebackers come through and not get that same.
I get it. That's true. I think that's why I'm sticking with Doyle. I think Doyle's got the second best.
Like JJ. Odds. JJ was signed. He wasn't drafted.
I agree with you.
I'm gonna go Doyle. I was a big Tyler Murray guy, but I think his size may be too small. Yeah. I'm gonna say Doyle.
I agree.
Doyle rules.
Doyle it is. Doyle rules. All right, Teach. We'll see who wins this Final Four. UConn next week.
UConn.
If you guys haven't, head over to bluffcitymedia.co. Sign up to be an insider. You get exclusive merch, access to the Discord, which we talked about. You get to chat with me, TJ, Gabe, Kenny. Other subscribers are up in there. We talk about stuff all the time: recruiting, Tiger basketball, Tiger football, Grizzly bets. all sorts.
Sneak
Don't
peek.
you can't show that. That's illegal.
They can't see it.
Access to the message boards, all sorts of cool stuff. So use promo code TJ and Trey. Like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow, listen to all the other podcasts you got on the Bluff. You got Tigers Tonight, you got Grizzly Bear Blues for the Grizz fans, all sorts of stuff. So get out there, head over to bluffcitymedia.co, get signed up, and we'll see you next week. Come with the cold beer, straight for the hot takes. Peace.
If you enjoyed this episode of Tigers Untapped, please leave a like and a comment wherever you download your podcasts. Head over to bluffcitynil.com for comprehensive coverage of Memphis Tiger athletics. We will see you back here next week.